Hey, what's up guys, and welcome back to Tennis channel, and today I'm so excited to share my thought about the newest string in the market, ReString Sync. It will be on sale tonight, so if you are interested to try, you can use my discount code here, and I will put the link in the description down below. Okay, after ReString launched the Zero on earlier last year, I would say I consider it to be quite successful, especially in the US. In Thailand and in Singapore, I think many people have heard of it, or at least has tried it, and it has increasingly interest. But I would say the feedback is mixed. There are people who totally loved it because the spin and the snapback are crazy, and it suits players who hit with a lot of topspin, modern ground strokes. However, there is another group of people who hates it or cannot play with it based on three reasons. The first one, they don't like the feel. That is somewhat muted. I also don't like the feel that much. Second, people who hit flat basically cannot play with it because it will be too launchy, as Zero gives you kind of higher launch angle, and when you hit flat, it can fly. Third, some people say that Zero is very stiff, and I understand that completely because I know the character of the string and I tested it on almost all current rackets in the market. It doesn't stretch that much, so if you put it in a control frame with dense pattern, something like this, the Blade 1820 or the T-Fight 305, it will be like so stiff, it could be an arm destroyer. But if you string it below 50 pounds on something like power and spin frames like Babolat, that's where you will get the pocketing feel and the highest playability. And that's where the sync comes. I think they aim to fulfill what Zero lacks. Basically, sync is a round copolyester string with a slippery surface, somewhat like a Zero, but Zero is a sharp edge, hexagonal copolyester string. This one is round. It comes in a light gray color, as you can see here, so you could expect it to have that alu-like kind of feel, and it actually is. I'm not gonna hype about this string. It's just one string that plays super solid and feels good. And long story short, I think it's a jack of all trades, middle of the road kind of string that are good on pretty much everything and can go well with many rackets, especially those with low stiffness rating control frames. But does it wow me? I don't think it does as much as when I play with a Zero for the first time, but I would guess that this time there will be people who loved it, and there will be people who are like, I think it's okay, I can play with it just fine. I don't think anyone would hate it like they did on the Zero. I have played with Sync on several rackets as of now. This includes many versions of blades. I play with it on the Gravity Tour and Speed MP, the Yonex E-Zone. I have tried tension between like 45 to 52 pounds, and I can say that so far it is great. It feels good on every racket that I try. It's a firm string, but not causing any discomfort or being very stiff so far. I would say it's just a bit more firm than the Tour by Soft. That is my go-to string. But it's way softer than the Alu Power, the Grapple Snake Tour Sniper, Solingo Tour Bite, or Headlinks Tour, and many other strings with Alu kind of feel. So I think you can go with your go-to tension just fine. Okay, let's start with the feel. I would say this string feels great. When you hit the ball, it gives you feedback where the ball is exactly on the string bed and where it's gonna send the ball to. Therefore, feel is pretty direct. Is it responsive? I think it is, but not the most like lively or responsive string, for sure. What I like is that it gives me just the right amount of vibrations. unlike the Luxilon Alu Power or 4G that give too much of a vibration, that you hit one ball and your arm vibrates for another 2 seconds. Or the Tour Bite, that's a bit too dampened. I think Sync sits exactly in the middle, which I believe is a perfect spot. When the Blade V9 launched last month, I put the 2x soft on it the same way I did on all of my blades. It's my go-to string, right? But this time it's too dampened and I don't feel connect to the ball that much. So I changed to Sync, and oh my god, it solved that issue completely. So yeah, it surprised me a bit on this aspect. And as I said before, I have tried on probably 5 to 6 different rackets and it feels good on all of them. I think it feels particularly good on head rackets that have low stiffness rating, like gravity and speed. I would guess it should feel good on the Prestige as well. My friend tried on the Radical Pro and said that it's also good. On the Yonex E Zone 100, I played with it. It was totally okay, but I would prefer the feel of Polytour Pro more on this one. On Babolat, I haven't tried it yet, but I will for sure. I would guess it should work on the PL Strike, but on the PL Aero and the PL Drive I'm not so sure. For the playability, Sync gives me the confidence and I hit super solid, especially on my backhand when I flatten the ball. The string is a controlled poly and it doesn't lack power. When you hit casually, you can get access to power a bit, like it gives you what you put in. But when you swing out, I can feel the extra drive that the string pocket the ball more and it blasts the ball out. It's the same feeling with the that I get from the Hyper G, and I think RPM blast when you put in your power beyond a certain threshold. And then the string rewards you. So I would say you can get power on this string, no problem, and it's good for playing point as well because when you want to get more power, the string gives you exactly that. But it's not like overly powerful or anything. I still consider it to be a low power polyester string. On my forehand, I think it lacks bite a bit, but it's a round poly, so that's understandable. I normally play with a shape poly, so it feels a bit strange to me not to have that bite. But the string doesn't lack spin or whatsoever. I think the access to spin is pretty easy and it has great spin potential as well. I can hit with top spin just fine on this blade 18 by 20. So I would say it's a round poly that packs pretty good spin potential thanks to the snapback that the string has. However, I think the ball loses pace a bit when go with like a lot of topspin and it can go a little bit high. Hitting flat feels way better. I think players who mostly play with round poly or hit flat through the court kind of style more than topspin, I think they will love it. You can hit heavy ball easily and the ball travels fast and deep to the baseline. I like it when I was on the attack and just want to flatten the ball for a kill. Backhand slice is super solid, keeping the ball low and deep. It cups the ball pretty good and punch it back like straight. On the control, no problem at all, especially on the directional control. I think I can change direction of the ball pretty easily. The depth control, I think it is good enough. Mostly when I hit with topspin, yeah, no problem. But when I hit flat, I think most of the time the ball is in the court, but that would be like once in a while that I try to get a topspin, but the string doesn't bite the ball enough and it ended up hitting flat, but the trajectory is a bit too high, so it goes out. But it's not often though. On the serve, I think it's powerful enough and go as command. My hitting partners say that my serve is super strong. And I agree that I serve really well Like, although I didn't ace that much, but the ball really go to the tee when I want. Normally I think I serve pretty good on the blade, but not to this level, so I consider it great on the serve. Overall, I think it plays pretty good. Hitting topspin is okay, but it's way better when hitting flat is super solid. It's a jack of all trades string, as I said in the beginning of the video. And for the tension maintenance, I think it holds tension really well. After like 3 hours of play, I measure the tension and it drops just around like 2 to 3 pounds from what I strung. So yeah, pretty good. Okay, so the downside, first I think the string needs break-in period of around like 30 minutes to 60 minutes, which is quite long. I mean, it's normal compared to plenty of strings in the market, but for me, I like strings that have shorter break-in period or have no break-in at all. In the first hour I play with it on the blade, I was like, I don't like it at all, but on the second hour, it becomes better and better, and now I like it. But it's weird that on some racket, like the speed or the gravity, it hits great from the first 10 minutes, so I think it depends on the racket though. Second, as I said before, it's not a soft poly. It's not stiff, but it's not soft. It's in the middle. So if you like playing with something poly to a pro soft, this might not be an answer. My friends tried it on a pro staff and said that it's a bit too firm, so maybe it's not great for high stiffness racket. I will try it later though, and I will report back of what I think. Okay, in summary, I think this is a string that can go well with many rackets. It can do pretty much everything. It's not hard to play with. It's not too extreme like Zero. The string shines on feel and control. Tension maintenance good. I think it's a must-try string that many people would love it. So, you should try it. Thank you for watching and see you in the next video.